You really have to have a stomach for volatility in order to invest in cruise lines and also part ways with traditional valuation metrics. I mean, these are some of the most highly leveraged names on the S&P 500. So do you think the recent gains we've seen are justified?
I will tell you right now, Seema, the only certainty is uncertainty with these names. I'm of the view that it's going to be a much longer and slower recovery than folks are expecting. Certainly, we saw the names jump up significantly at the end of last week in anticipation that you might have some cruising sooner than later. I'm of the view that the CDC will extend the no sale order for at least 1 to 2 months, but we anxiously await it because we're running at about 48 hours until that current one expires.
Yeah, Tuna, earlier last week, the cruise line submitted a list of 74 recommendations to the CDC, which includes testing for all crew and passengers, shorter itineraries, the use of private islands, and also limited excursions to ensure that passengers don't contract COVID when they get off at a port. With that said, do you think all of this is enough to win the approval of the CDC?
You know, Seema, I was going through that same.
Tuna,
I was going through that same list. I was going through that same list, and it was pretty clear it's going to be a very different world for cruise customers. The protocols are pretty intense. And back to the earlier question, I wouldn't call an inflection at this particular point. I think there's a whole lot of things that's got to happen for the consumer out there to be comfortable getting back on the ship. We know that the clock is ticking for the no-sale order. If anything, just the CDC letting the no-sale order expiring, I don't think necessarily indicates that we're going to get back to normalcy anytime soon. As far as the stocks themselves, I think we know that they have become even more leveraged than they were as they continue to try to navigate the liquidity pressures. So at this point in time, Seema, we're still pretty neutral on those shares, and we think that this is really not a time to try to amass your positions pending all these issues.
Patrick, how are you thinking about this industry if you project a little bit farther ahead? And there's one school of thought that says there's going to be obviously pent-up demand for all kinds of travel, and there's going to be a real release of that demand some point in the future. On the other hand, you know, this industry already had maybe some demographic issues, people not taking to it as quickly. So what do you see for the further future here?
Well, to like these stocks here, you really have to value them on 2023, maybe 2024 estimates. And I think during that time, you know, or at least over the next 6 months, I think you're going to be more disappointments than encouragement. And what worries me a bit is, you know, many investors, especially Robinhood investors, don't have 3 to 4 year time frames. So, you know, if you got 4 year time frames, which most of my clients, you know, I would say probably don't, especially hedge funds, you know, I see more risk than reward, at least over the next year.